Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for August 2024. We're going to jump right in here. You have this new love card. It says a new romantic relationship is unfolding that will be deeply meaningful to you. You have this ultimate fulfillment card. It says you're now entering into a time of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. I would add that I feel like you need to believe it for sure, Pisces, because just looking at your astrology as well for the month of August, I can see that there could be some things going on that where it's like you feel like your vibration is off, but it really isn't. Or, it's kind of like the battle between your mind and the real world, right? So I would definitely practice believing in yourself, which I definitely think is something that we do have to practice. It doesn't come naturally. And so I would practice that. I also feel that, you need to look at the evidence of how things are actually turning out in your life, because, I think things are maybe better. I don't want to say they're better than they appear, but, I think that things could be better than they appear if you allow it. So, I would make sure that you're kind of paying attention. You have the Ten of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Wands in your first row. Definitely could be new love, and it could be a fire sign. We have a lot of fire. We even have the King and Queen of Wands showing up here. So it could be a fire sign or someone with like fire in their chart or something. And I would say that it's going to be very passionate for you. And damn it, Pisces, let's fix that. There we go. I bumped it. You have the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. It can represent happy home, happy family, and it definitely could represent new love entering into your life. Even though it's a Mercury retrograde, I always tell people, like, do whatever you want during a Mercury retrograde. Go on dates, meet new people, start a business, do all those things. It's like, yeah, some things might be a mistake, but, I truly believe that astrology will never... if something's meant to work, it'll work. It's like just because there's a Mercury retrograde and you meet a person, it's like if it's your person, it'll work. So, I wouldn't really necessarily worry about that at this time. And I always tell people, what's meant for you will never pass you by. So even, if there is an issue or something, you'll probably correct it in the first place. I think Mercury retrograde is a great time to date a person, because guess what? If they're going to make a mistake, it's going to happen right away. And so at least and you don't have to like waste 6 months or a year or 2 years dating a person to find out that, they're really a monster, right? And I feel like, this looks amazing. So I would say if you're meeting a new person, definitely a lot of love. You also have the Queen of Wands. Again, this could be you or the person, take it how it resonates. We have the King and Queen of Wands, and I do, I like these two for connections because they can represent a lot of desire. You also have the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is kind of a card of charging after or towards a desire that you have. So this could be a desire to, start a business or, do something. Do something. I'm shooting this video the day before the full moon in Capricorn, and I feel that full moon in Capricorn is... it's kind of like one of those things. And sorry, I keep feeling like something is like touching my ear here, Pisces. So there you go. But what I would say is I feel that full moon in Capricorn is like your 11th house. I think that a lot of people think of like community or, other people with the 11th house. But the 11th house is like very lucky as well. And, it can have a lot to do with like luck or, lucky circumstances. The King and Queen of Wands, they create their own luck by taking action. So, I would definitely do whatever you can. If you're thinking about, taking action on something. Oh, I was going somewhere else with that. I totally forgot. The touching of the ear messed me up. But what I was going to say is if you're rebirthing an idea that you've had in the past, I think I said this in your last reading, it's a really amazing time for you to do that. So again, if you've worked on a project in the past or an idea, or it could even be something fun, like maybe you've tried to travel before or something like that, now would be a really good time to revisit it and kind of like redo whatever that is. You have the Knight of Wands, and again, I feel like this is the adventure that you will be going on. So a lot of you could be going on this little kind of rebirth adventure where you're, rebuilding something. Mercury retrograde is all about, put RE in front of a word, and that's what you should be doing. And the Knight of Wands, to me, is the true builder in the tarot. If he doesn't know how to do something, he builds it. And I feel like it's time to kind of really stand up and say to the world that you are going to build something, but you're not saying anything. You are just going to build it, and that's how you are going to tell the world that you're kind of building something, by actually doing it. And, I think it would be an amazing time, especially even this week. Again, I don't know what this week is, the week of the 22nd or whatever, right? So even these last couple weeks of July, I think would be a great time for you to get started. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Six of Cups. Yeah, I would say this is like a very childlike, playful connection that could be coming in for you. Definitely could be a fire sign. You've had fire like all up in your business. I know Pisces is obsessed with Aries. You have an Aries. It could be an Aries. It could be any, it could be any fire sign. Leo also shows up here. Like I said, it could be any fire sign or a person who has a lot of fire in their chart, but definitely would be a very childlike connection. The Six of Cups, it can also represent kind of like revisiting something from the past, or think it's really the card of innocence and nostalgia, thinking about the past. And it is kind of popping into my head that you need to think about something in a more adult way. It's like maybe you have an old idea, or an old business idea, or a project idea, or just something fun you want to do. And I feel like now it's time for that to mature. Even the Ace of Pentacles right next to it kind of represents the same thing. Ace of Pentacles is about having a garden and needing to grow that garden. So I think that, which is kind of like maturing, right? So it's almost like I get this energy of maturity here, or something different. With the Queen of Wands, I think you're going to take a risk on a person, really. So your readings, like last month, July, didn't really have a ton of love. This month obviously has more love. So I feel you could be more open to having a new beginning or taking a risk. It's kind of funny because I am hearing that you do feel like you're wondering if you're being foolish, or you're wondering if you're, jumping into another mistake or something like that. But really, I don't think that's the case. I think that this is something that you can learn a lot from with that Fool card. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Three of Wands, definitely building. Three of Wands says, what are you waiting for? It's like there's something very expansive in front of you, and I feel like maybe some of you are just either comparing yourself too much, which I also think we talked about in the last reading, is that, I think I said this to you in your last reading, that there is nothing that Pisces can compare themselves to right now. And I think that's like kind of like a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing, because sometimes it is nice to have an example. Sometimes it is nice to say like, oh, this project worked for this person, so I can do it. But I think you are becoming that person. It's like you are becoming the example. Next, for in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this workaholic card. It says having strong work ethic and giving 110%. What's really funny is I feel maybe like June, July, you were feeling more lazy or feeling like you weren't doing a lot. And I feel August, you're kind of like turning on the rocket boosters here and doing a lot of work, even though it's Mercury retrograde. I always say, like, as a Pisces, my most productive times have always been Mercury retrograde. Someone interviewed me the other day, and they were like, how do you feel about Mercury retrograde? What happens to you? I'm like, it's always like the best things happen to me during Mercury retrograde. So, definitely something to think about. And I definitely have the typical issues, but for the most part, it's always good. You have this gossip card. It says people are talking about you and what you are doing. Who cares, right? I would say I wouldn't even pay attention to it. This right here, going this way, this could be like a past person that's trying to create a conflict with the Five of Wands. It could also just be haters, right? So I would just ignore the haters and just keep moving forward. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles is a big opportunity that is being presented to you. I really feel you're meant to shine. It's kind of like that Ace of Pentacles is almost shining or glowing, and I feel that this is kind of a big opportunity that's coming in for you. The other interesting thing that just jumped out at me here, Pisces, is that we go to the Death card, and the Death card has the sun, and the rays are like pointing up. I'll show you at the end. And here on the Ace of Pentacles, there are these rays, and they're pointing down. I don't know, it's popping to my head as something that's important. It's like maybe you're actually planting the seed in the ground and turning those rays upside down. It's almost like something is rising in your life, or something is going to be rising up. Part of me feels it's your energy this month. The other part of me feels that something's actually growing, or something is working, and I feel like it's going to take you to new places with that Knight of Wands. I do feel like there could be some conflict going on here. I feel like you are deciding, but this is not like bad conflict. I feel this is more like inner conflict, in the sense that you could be deciding like who you want to spend time with, or what people resonate with you. I do feel for a lot of you, especially with that full moon that's happening tomorrow. This video will be coming out on the day of the full moon, probably. I think today is the 20th. I can't see, but I think today is the 20th and tomorrow is the 21st. So the day of the full moon. And it wouldn't really surprise me if a lot of you were kind of like looking at the groups that you belong to, the people you spend the most time with, and you could be making some decisions like to outgrow those people, or you could be deciding to really that some people are part of your tribe. It doesn't have to be all about like walking away or leaving. I feel for some of you it is, but I kind of feel like you're just looking at those things. I also feel this is saying to like move towards competition and conflict, that there's a big difference between, moving towards it and being a part of it. So notice how I did not say be a part of the conflict or competition. I said move towards it, which means, there might be, a business idea you have, and maybe there's a lot of competition. You don't have to take part in the competition, but I feel like this is saying, yes, there might be a lot of competition. Do it anyway. Who cares how many people are doing something? I truly believe, people ask me all the time, should I start a tarot channel? I'm like, it doesn't matter how many people there are. There will always be a person who rises up and takes the number one spot. It could be you. So you might as well get started, right? There will always be someone who comes up with a better way of doing what we do here, tarot, right? I don't know. I've been racking my brain for years trying to come up with a better way to do this, and, something more exciting, something different, just to change things up to see what happens, right? And, someone will do it and they'll rise to the top. So like I said, that person might be you. And I kind of get that feeling on the Five of Wands that it could be saying, the person to like take something over here to rise to the top might be you. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords, he's getting very close to something, and he is choosing to go back to the past. So I feel like this is saying, if you are wanting to accomplish something or do something, don't go back to the past. Run right through whatever you're trying to accomplish at this time. And that's really all I get off of the Knight of Swords. Sometimes I just feel he is, kind of running up to a point, and he is feeling like, oh, I can't get over this barrier. But really, if he would just stick with something, he would jump over it or blast through it and get over the barrier. With the Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, really good financial month for you. I mean, I would take advantage of it for sure. Anything you could do to grow your finances this month, I would do. Nine of Pentacles, card of gratitude and luxury. So, being more grateful is always a great idea with that card. With the Five of Wands, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is a choice. Two of Pentacles can be spinning plates. I do kind of feel like you have to make a decision. It's like, obviously, we only have, 24 hours in a day. So there might be some things that you have to cut out of your life this month, or you might be cutting certain things out of your life this month so that you can grow, or so that you can reach new heights. And I think you need to examine the things that are keeping you at the same level, because I really truly believe that Pisces does know. It's like, at the very least, you do know what to do to get to the next level. Like, I think in the back of your mind, it's like, like certain things, or certain activities or certain businesses you could start, or certain jobs you could get, or certain things that you could learn from books or whatever. And it's like, if I put yourself in my shoes, me in your shoes, I mean, that, I am a Pisces, so I get it, but I think but you're doubting yourself a little bit. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Hangman. I feel like you're over-prepared. Hangman says you have put yourself on pause. You've gained all the knowledge and wisdom you need. His head is normally glowing. He has gained the enlightenment he needs to move forward, and I feel quite simply that this is saying, you know everything, Pisces. You know exactly what you need to know, so get moving. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Desire Attraction card and this anchor that says stability and security. So again, if you're attracting a person, clearly, Queen of Wands, King of Wands, there's going to be a lot of desire with this person. I also feel that there will be a lot of stability and security. I kind of feel it feels very different for you, Pisces, different than what you're used to. And I feel like this is saying that, I look at the Hierophant as two people who are being prepared for each other. So again, I think this is two people who have almost been divinely guided together. And, again, there could be a very strong connection coming in for you. The Hierophant is also about outside the box thinking, which I do think, Mercury retrograde is a great time to do research and to discover different ways of doing things. So outside the box thinking, coming up with new ways of doing things, different ways of doing things, all that will be great for success. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is about resourcefulness. I kind of feel like you are gathering resources, or you are collecting your resources so that you can, not only be more successful, but so that you can survive and live your life. But I do see you just being more resourceful with the Queen of Pentacles. You also have the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is not moving. He needs to plant seeds in this field behind him. And I feel like for months I've been saying to you, Pisces, that it's time to move. It's time to plant that seed. And I still feel like that is true. And again, tarot readings, it's like, I think that sometimes we deal with an energy for a long time. Obviously, it's like your life doesn't change for the most part. You don't experience huge changes from one day to the next. For the most part, we're always dealing with the same stuff for, months on end, at least. And, I feel like this is an energy that you've been dealing with, kind of like like a little bit of going back and forth, wondering if you should plant that seed in something, and it could even be like starting a relationship. And I feel like this is saying it's time. With the Hierophant, you have the Hierophant. So basically, the universe saying, I meant what I said. Whenever a card repeats itself, it's pretty much just the universe saying, I meant what I said. It's time for you to think outside the box. I do like the Hierophant, though. He can represent blessings. He can represent marriage as well. So, again, if you're looking for love, I feel this person could lead to marriage. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Death card. I feel like there is a positive change in your finances with this energy. I'm wondering, I think for like the first half of this year, maybe things looked like they were slowing down. And I feel the Death card is saying the sun is coming up. You're planting that seed, the Ace of Pentacles, and the sun is like, for whatever reason, I'm seeing that sun as, which it does rise, but I'm seeing it as that rising energy. It's almost like something is rising in your life, or something is being lifted up, and that's really what I feel here. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups. I feel like some of you, again, you could be fearing disappointment with a person. Knight of Pentacles is no movement or being too cautious. So if you are meeting a person, I do feel this is saying, take the risk, or it's okay to take the risk. You won't be disappointed. The Five of Cups, also goes up to the Six of Cups. And the Five of Cups is normally focusing in this direction in the past. The guy on the card is facing this direction, but he has the two cups behind him, and those two cups would lead to the Emperor. So again, some of you could be attracting a divine counterpart, but I feel like you have to let go of like past regrets or, fears from the past because of whatever you dealt with or whatever the case may be. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Turkey spirit, it says give with grace and gratitude. You also have this Flamingo spirit, it says embrace the in-between, which you've been in for too long. I feel like this is good because, again, I feel you have been experiencing a little bit of that purgatory energy where it seems like, nothing's moving forward, nothing's moving backwards, nothing is really kind of doing what you want it to do. But now I feel like you're kind of getting out of that energy and you're stepping into the next stage. The turkey is also a symbol of abundance. So, again, there could be a lot of abundance coming in for you this month. You have the Death card, the King of Wands, and the Emperor. The Death card, of course, is a transformation. So I do feel like there could be a big transformation coming in for you. I feel that the sun is saying that the sun is coming up, like you're entering into a period of clarity. Funny enough, the king here is the death of establishment. Even today we have Pluto still at 0 degrees, going over the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. I look at Pluto going over that cusp as the death of establishment. So literally, I feel like this is what we're dealing with in the astrology. So there could be some sort of establishment or something that has been established in your life that is undergoing a transformation. And I would just say it's probably a good thing because the sun is coming up, and this is also showing up in the good stuff. You have the King of Wands. The King of Wands wants us to be bold and assertive, wants us to be confident and really go for something. He's also like a very entrepreneurial energy, and even if you're not an entrepreneur, we can be entrepreneurial in like with our health, for example, or our spirituality. So it's not necessarily about having a business, but it can represent, kind of like treating something as if it is a business, or, coming up with a solid plan for your health, for example, and sticking to the plan, right? That's how you can be entrepreneurial with your health is, in everything else, just coming up with a plan and sticking to it is what I feel the King of Wands is talking about. I do feel like this is really good for you entrepreneurs out there. So if you do have a business, or, if you're starting something, this looks really, really good. I also feel this could be, again, a person. You have the Emperor, like I said, time for action for you, Pisces. He's also holding like this Ankh right here, which represents rebirth. So like I said earlier in the reading, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you were working on like an older idea that you are rebirthing at this time, and you're probably going to be reinventing the idea as well. So it might be like the same idea, but different in some way. So let's see what is going on for you here. With the Death card, you have the Four of Swords. I feel like you're feeling more rested, more energetic, more alive. Even today, like I've noticed this myself. Like I woke up pretty early at like 4 o'clock this morning, but I feel like overall I'm not very tired. I feel energetic. I feel okay, for the most part. So I think that you're kind of returning to your energy at this time. With the King of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I think this is worth the risk. Again, I always say, like, I would never tell anyone to rush into a relationship, or, I would never tell anyone if they're truly not ready for it to jump into a relationship. So, don't feel like I'm saying you have to do this, but, again, I think it's worth the risk. If you meet a person, this month of August, it could be a person who's born in August or born close to August as well. I think that this is saying it would be worth it to give it a shot and not be too cautious with the Knight of Pentacles. With the Emperor, you have the Devil. Could be a Capricorn or a person with Capricorn in their chart as well. Devil's coming up in the good stuff, so this could say that you are conquering bad habits. And I do kind of get that feeling for you, Pisces, that maybe that, there are some bad habits that you're getting rid of. And I think this would be a really, really good idea for you to get rid of those bad habits, or, focus on developing better habits. You have this patience card. Yes, I feel like you've been very patient to meet a person. And like, this card is about love. So I feel like there definitely could be a person coming in for you. And what do you know? You have this acquisition card as well. This is my fancy couple card. So there's like a fancy couple here on this card. So definitely could be a new person that's coming in for you. I feel like you two complement each other very well. And again, I do feel like this could be a person who's like a little bit different, or there's like some sort of difference that you normally wouldn't go for, but I feel like you go for it, and I think you will like it. You have this restlessness card. Yes, I think that restlessness is the most destructive energy other than maybe guilt, right? And so I think that restlessness, if you're feeling restless, I would do something. Go for a walk. Do a puzzle. I would say it doesn't matter what you do, but if you're feeling restless, I'm convinced that channeling that restless energy into something, even if it's like doing a coloring book or whatever, like just channel the energy and get it out, right? And I think that's what this is saying. It's like saying get that restless feeling out. You have this friendship card. You might start as friends with a person. I also feel that this month is going to show you who your true friends are. I would actually say this time, like starting now, the 21st. Even if you're watching it after the 21st, again, I think this whole entire time, the next 6 weeks or so, you're really going to see who's your friend and who's not your friend. And I also think that, what's kind of popping into my head is I think there could be things that are happening where it's like you have those little hits, where you're kind of saying to yourself, like, is this person, like sometimes I think as a Pisces that we, someone does something and we're like, was that directed at me, or am I just being paranoid? But I think, no, it is being directed at you. So I think you need to pay attention to those intuitive hits where you feel like, someone's talking about you, or maybe you feel like they're being passive aggressive or something like that. You have this assertion card. Yeah, definitely time to assert yourself, and, definitely time to stand up for yourself at this time. Time for you to take the lead, be a boss, stand out, all that other good stuff. But this looks really, really good. I love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.